Number 10. Daddy Longlegs. This story is based on a famous novel written by Jean Webster. Cha Young-mi, played by Ha Ji-won, lost her parents at a young age. Despite that, she manages to live her life cheerfully. Through the help of an anonymous person who pays for her university education, Young-mi is able to finish her studies and starts to work as a program writer in a radio station. She calls her benefactor Daddy Longlegs. One day, Young-mi happens to see her ideal guy. The man works in the reference room at the broadcasting station. She starts to develop feelings for him. However, she is also eager to meet Daddy Longlegs. Number 9. 100 Days with Mr. Arrogant. Another film starring Ha Ji-won. After being dumped by her boyfriend just before their 100-day anniversary, Ha Young meets a college guy named Hyung-jun, whom she accidentally hits in the face with a can, causing him to scratch his Lexus. Since she's just a poor high school student, she has no money to pay for the damage, so Hyung-jun makes her sign an enslavement agreement for 100 days. She becomes his personal slave who cleans his apartment and runs his errands. As soon as she learns that she was tricked by him, she decides to take revenge. But he still keeps intervening her life, and soon she finds herself in love. Number 8. The Beast and the Beauty. Haeju is an attractive young woman who maintains good spirits in spite of having lost her eyesight years ago. For the past 3 years, she's been in a relationship with Dong-gun, a devoted boyfriend. But when an eye donor is found for Haeju, Dong-gun faces a dilemma. He is seriously disfigured by a facial scar and doesn't want Haeju to see what he looks like. Instead of explaining this to her, Dong-gun leaves a message for her that he has left Korea for Hawaii. In the meantime, Haeju meets Jun-ha, a lawyer who is smitten by her. He keeps fighting for her attention and affection, but Haeju continues to await Dong-gun's return. Number 7. Innocent Steps. Former acclaimed dancer Na Young-se, played by Park Gun-hyung, attempts to make a comeback after his opponent purposely injures him at a dance competition. At the suggestion of dance studio manager, Young-se then brings to Korea Jang Jae-rin, played by Moon Yoon-young, an ethnic Korean from China whom he presumes is a renowned, talented dancer. To his surprise, Young-se learns Jae-rin knows nothing about dancing, and her soon-to-be married older sister, Jang Jae-min, is the talented dancer. With only 3 months until the National Dance Championship, Young-se trains Jae-rin, vowing to turn her into a world-class dancer. The two eventually fall in love with each other. Number 6. Mare. Love that resides in one place at 2 different times. In 1997, architect Sung-hyun, played by Lee Jung-jae, moves into the home Mare that his estranged father built. One day, he pulls out a letter from his mailbox. The letter is from Yoon-ju, played by Jun Ji-hyun, who addresses the new occupant of the house. Sung-hyun is surprised because he's the only person to have moved into the home. More letters arrive, and in those letters, her predictions are accurate. She warns about a flurry of snow on a certain day in January of 1998 and an ensuing flu virus. She's convinced that her letter has traveled back in time to December of 1997 and starts writing regularly to Sung-hyun. Their letter exchange begins a love and friendship separated by 2 years. Number 5. My Little Bride. My Little Bride is one of the first batch of movies I watched which made me a Korean film addict. Sang-min, played by Kim Rae-won, is a wannabe playboy fresh out from college, and Boon, played by Moon Goon-young, is still in high school. Both of them are best friends since childhood. They are forced to get married due to family pressure and then start their journey towards dealing with this new relation between them. Keeping their marriage a secret from all with only a few people know, the newlyweds try to live their separate lives as normally as possible. But it becomes far more complicated than they ever imagined. Number 4. Windstruck. Windstruck was released as a prequel to the movie My Sassy Girl, which I also love. Kyung-jin, played by Jang Ji-hyun, is a feisty and fearless police officer in Seoul's police department. While chasing a thief on her day off, she accidentally apprehends Myung-woo, played by Jang Hyuk, a physics teacher at an all-girls school who was actually trying to catch the real criminal. Initially arrested and subsequently released, once his case of mistaken identity is eventually resolved, Myung-woo returns to the police station a few days later to undertake a kind of community service, only to find that his partner is none other than Kyung-jin. He grudgingly accompanies her on her rounds, but by the end of their evening together, inadvertently being handcuffed together for the majority of it, Myung-woo has clearly begun to fall for the sassy policewoman. Number 3. My Sassy Girl. My Sassy Girl is the pinnacle of romantic comedies. It is about an ordinary and obedient guy who meets a wild, unstable, and beautiful girl. Yeon-woo, played by Cha Tae-hyun, is a college student more interested in drinking with his buddies and avoiding his nagging mother whenever possible. While riding the subway, a drunken girl, played by Jung Ji-hyun, then changes his fate forever. Number 2. A Moment to Remember. A Moment to Remember is undoubtedly something that should be remembered. The relationship between memory and love has been deeply explored and examined in this love story, which makes it special. The movie shows how true love never fails and will last long forever. The movie is brilliant in building a perfect marriage life between two people. The story touches your heart by the little sweet and exciting details of how they fall in love and the happy marriage. But the young couple's enduring love is tested when the girl is diagnosed with a rare form of Alzheimer's disease. The movie reminds me a bit of The Notebook, which is one of my favorite Hollywood romantic movies. Number 1. The Classic. The Classic is definitely one of the best love stories ever made. It is very touching and powerfully moving. The movie begins when student Ji-hae, played by Song Ye-jin, finds a box belonging to her late mother which contains some old love letters and a diary while tidying away books at home. She discovers, to her surprise, that while some of the letters are from her father, some seem to come from a man she has never heard of. Intrigued by who the man is, and wanting to know more about his relationship with her mother, Ji-hae starts to read the letters, bringing the past back to life in her imagination as she gradually learns the story of her mother's first love. Back in the present, Ji-hae has a seemingly unrequited love of her own, and as the parallel love stories of mother and daughter unfold, separated by time, she begins to realize that her life is linked to her mother's in more ways than she could ever have imagined.